We are John and Ellie, the Barefoot Doctors. We lost our new Leopard 50 catamaran to fire, so we began our search for the perfect performance catamaran for sailing us around the world. After 4 decades of sailing experience, we are very clear about what we want. So join us as we explore new horizons, stretch the boundaries in yacht design, and build the ultimate catamaran. Jump on board for this adventure, and together, who knows what we can achieve? Because life is better barefoot.
Okay guys, so you buy a new boat, you think everything should be perfect, and off you go and sail. You get your 50-hour service, you get your 100-hour service, but you have to actually, no, you don't have to do anything. But in order to protect your engine and keep it in good condition in the long term, you need to do some extra stuff. Paul here is going to show you exactly the sort of things you need to do to both protect your engine from having some problems along the way, as well as preventing rust and making sure you have an easy way of checking all your locks, all your nuts and all your bolts and all your fittings, so that you don't have a problem in the middle of an Atlantic crossing where you're going 8,000 miles. So let's take you through what he does. It doesn't take too long, it takes a couple of hours probably. So let's see what he does, and you can do it on your boat when you get a brand new boat of any type. This is really good information to protect your engines and your boat for the future. Bit of advertising for Michelle and Pat.
Alright John, so just basically a small flat, a big flat. This is for all the hose clamps. When you use the rubber, after a couple of hours, the rubber pipes gets a bit hot and the hose clamps gets a bit loose. So once it's like gotten hot, you just tighten it. You'll see when we tighten, they actually turn maybe a half a turn, sometimes a full turn, just to clamp them, secure them properly. You'll see with the engine bolts as well when we go down, that the same thing there. They paint a little line across the bolt, and as you turn it, you can see how much you've actually turned it, quarter turn, half turn.
So they're already painted, are they?
They've already painted a line across them. And what we basically use is you just need a 17 spanner, 17 socket, or a 17 wrench, and a number 10. Yeah, you can see there where the lines are painted across, straight line, straight line, straight line.
And how hard are you pulling? Like,
yeah, just firm. If that doesn't want to reach, that's why we've got alright. We can just do this side as well. You can see it.
yeah.
Right. Now we're going to do the same with all the sail drive bolts. You'll see the sail drive bolts have also been painted.
Oh, yeah, quarter of a turn. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Oh wow, they do move, don't they?
This one is surprisingly loose. And this is how I find if there's a problem, because this one doesn't seem like it's gripping. But the nut is normally embedded in a fiberglass there.
Yeah.
And this one you can see there's no purchase at all.
One, 2, 3, 4. Is that right?
That's correct.
4 on each side.
Alright, so we're going to first take this cover off, because we can't access these hose clamps. So we can take this cover off. We're going to also treat this with Vaseline. This is just a size 10.
So that plate is purely just to protect the bits of the engine from people and water.
Yes. See how
Those covers are just to stop you scratching yourself, isn't it?
exactly cutting yourself.
Because they're pretty vicious. So I suppose just for everybody's information, this is the fuel in and out, I presume?
Yes.
Fuel filter.
This is the fuel return. This is a fuel return.
Alright.
Tank in.
Oh, it's got signage.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
Yeah.
handy.
You see some of the hose clamps are quite small. And that's why you use a smaller screwdriver. You can see this quite loose. Right. Just progressively follow all the pipes.
So this is the water pump with the impeller inside. So when you pair the impeller, that's the plate that comes off. Wow. That was a lot of movement.
Yeah.
This is, oh, that's exhaust, is it? Oh, this is the water heater.
That's correct.
You see those pipes leading off to the water heater, which is there.
And then in the very same thing, you're also checking this side here. You just follow all these pipes back, and so that pipe comes to one there. And you just tighten all of them as well. Just a fuel water separation. Right. Yeah, this is your fuel bleeding.
I feel bleeding.
Yeah, that's
oh,
a little
okay.
fuel pump there.
Okay. How do you bleed it then if you got one of these hand pumps?
As I said, this would be for your generator. So if you want to put fuel back in here, if you had to take this filter out.
So you just pump it from there, nothing to do here, and you turn the engine over and it starts?
That's correct.
Oh wow. That's easy.
Alright, so we've checked all our hose clamps now. Yeah, I should say this is just to give you yourself peace of mind, to know that you've checked yourself, you know everything is tight, everything is good. It also gives you a good opportunity to see that there's nothing out of place. And it doesn't help you in the middle of the ocean and you want to say, I've paid $1 million for my boat, everything should be fine. It's your responsibility once you leave here to make sure everything is fine. I'm going to show you now on the rudder bolts as well. We're going to tighten these too. But you can see they're also marked.
Uh-huh. Are there only 2 engine mountings?
Yep.
Wow.
We like to take these washers out as well, so we can lubricate them.
And how would you clean the engine compartment? I mean, I see, you know what, it's a few weeks since we've got the boat, but there's a few little leaves and there's a bit of dust.
Dry rack is fine. It's like you normally find little pieces of cable ties that's cut off, and maybe little pieces of wood that's still floating around,
Right.
little pieces of electric wire that's been crimped.
Oh yeah.
So normally just with a dry rack is a good idea.
Okay. But not acetone.
Yeah, I would say tongue in cheek. If you use acetone, just don't spark a light or anything like that.
So you just wipe down
No, just the excess.
excess.
It's got a proper cover of it, so you know that. Oh, piece of foam here. We normally remove this. I mean, it's just to protect the engine while it is being transported and assembled.
Right.
But just to maintain this nice look.
Mm-hmm.
Just a touch of silicone spray. Just wipe this. Just spray it a little bit. Rag. Yeah,
Beautiful.
and that's about that
That's
for
it?
inside here. And then I also obviously come and do a little bit of similar work, silicone spray there. And then on the hinges, I'll show you now what we do on the
Okay.
hinges as well.
That's sometimes leaks and drips on the engine to cause rust.
That's it. Yeah, I actually loosen them a little bit
Oh dear.
and spray a little bit of silicone spray in, so the silicone spray really penetrates in, and then Vaseline it again over.
Sorry, tighten it and then Vaseline it, or Vaseline and then tighten it?
And then tighten it.
Vaseline and then tighten
Yeah.
it, okay. And you're also
like-
going to do the same for these ones?
These ones
Oh,
here,
those ones there.
that one there, that one there, that one there, and this one here. So this is very often, if you look at the cat, at any cat that's a year or two old, you'll always see This is rusty inside.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
to prevent it from any rust.
Yeah,
It's easy to do it when the boat is new.
yeah.
And then a ladder, a diving ladder as well. That takes a lot of beating. Put all the sea spray on it.
Yeah.
And it's also a good idea just to put some silicone spray over that. Just wipe it dry and nice.
Okay.
And here you can already see
Yeah.
that we try and prevent. The silicone prevents the rust mostly, like right deep inside the washes. The silicone protective layer, and the Vaseline certainly stops any water penetration, just a double layer.
Obviously, if you like what we do and the effort we're putting into these videos, subscribe. And obviously, if you want more detailed information, live updates of our position, and a daily log, then log on to Patreon and support us through that. All the money obviously going to charity. It's to support suicide prevention worldwide. So look forward to seeing you on the trip. Catch you later.
There is no cracks here.
Here are the cotter pins that we need to make sure are intact, and obviously check the stainless so there are no cracks.
And a very important one is this one here. Keep continuously to see that it is tight, because that also works loose, and then when that pin falls out or bends,
That's the sail fall down, not the mast. That's only holding the sail up.
I would sometimes use Loctite, not the strongest Loctite, but Loctite to lock it in there. I would sometimes put some silicone in there because we've had it turning out and going loose.
How far out will that spin out, Paul?
Before it falls?
Yeah.
About
okay,
there.
quite a long way.
Okay, so
And at night, if you've got light winds and it does this all the time, it takes us a couple of hours for that to work out, because this is then moving. If it's not tightened properly, then that loosens very quickly and falls out. I've had it happen a couple of times. So to prevent that, it's all about preventing it. A bit of Loctite there works well. But as I say, when you do your inspections on your boat, like every morning, go around, check for that, for example. That's a very important part. You even have to go up to the mast, and it's for the Genova going up there, that this one as well there at the top there, you also have to see, because it does move quite around a bit. If you've got pressure on this bolt here, and this is doing this all the time with high pressure, this eventually works loose.
It falls out.
And it pulls out, and then you go to Genova all of a sudden. You'll get through top there, you'll see there's one shackle that holds it up.
deep people.
Yeah.
Get it doing it both ways.
That's it.
Much easier.
Yep. And then we'll lift you up a little bit, and you'll feel how she moves.
Okay.
All right.
Don't mind. Let's give it a bit of a torque. Okay.
Okay, you feel secure there. That's it. Feel balance.
Yep.
Now, just one thing. Always be careful that when you hold the line in front of you, that you don't let your hand go into the block.
Hold it here. Don't hold it there. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Got it.
And just lean back a bit. Lean back a bit. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
Sit down.
Thank you. I wasn't as nervous once I got up there as I thought I might be. I mean, my forearms are going to be tight tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. The slip knot did come off one of the tools while I was up there, though.
Because you came down the outside of the laser jacks, we've got to walk the halyard back inside the laser jacks, just for your own reference when you're doing it on your own boat.
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. So not as bad as you thought.
I wasn't sure what to expect, and granted, the boat's not moving a lot, but just the whole most people aren't used to heights and being tethered by a single line.
Are you?
I don't like them, but I've lived in the mountains so long that you're used to sort of steep drops.
Okay guys, I hope that was useful for you and you learned something from Paul and his wisdom. I would also like to point out that when I was selling my 42-foot boat to John Brand, he's a mechanic, and he said, we were talking about outboard engines, and he said even when you buy a brand new outboard engine, what he does is he takes out every single bolt and nut that is exposed, covers them in marine grease, and then puts them all back. And I mean, I must say that was completely news to me, because I thought you buy a new engine and you just run it, you shouldn't have to do anything to it. Well, absolutely not. And this is reinforced by what Paul is telling you what you should be doing with your inboard engines on your new boat, whatever brand it is. So hopefully that was useful, and we'll see you in the next episode. We are currently sailing across the Atlantic, so we'll be sharing all of the trip with you in later episodes. Patreons can see our live positions and daily logs with the position tracker through Predict Wind. So all the best guys, we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching guys, and if you like what we do, show us the love and hit the like button. Then hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so you don't miss out on your regular fix. Then kick off your shoes and you can come barefoot with us.